Hello and welcome back to another video here for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. This time around we're looking at a mount in particular you might have seen from the title and thumbnail, the Construct 14. Now previously we did a video on how to farm bozja clusters. Basically what we came up with was just to farm clusters in the center of the bottom part of the map, the southern entrenchment. The reason for this is it's got a high dense population of the Magna Rhoda type monsters and the Deathclaws, which are rank 3. Now the 4th Legion, basically, and then a title of something with a rank 3 in front of the name. As you can see on these striking dummies have a rank 1. It would have 3 lines for 3 because it's Roman numerals. Any of those will give you a greater chance of getting a bozja cluster when you defeat it. It's close to, but not quite 50%. It might be a little bit under that, but that's the method of farming the clusters, and that's what that video basically talked about if you're interested. I don't want you to feel like you're forced to watch multiple videos to get that information. So that's how you get the clusters. Inside the actual town then you'll see the Resistance Quartermaster, and she's situated over here to the left, sort of like northwest of the encampment. There's the entrance, there's the Aetherite, and this Quartermaster will offer, under the Exchange Bozja Clusters for Items menu, a plethora of really cool things. The first two things are the Forgotten Fragments. You can get these normally from, obviously, doing notorious monsters, critical engagements and skirmishes and monsters and things like that. Those add those lost actions to your lost action thingy, so you can get those if you want for 1 cluster each. We have ourselves the guard emote, and we have a hairstyle. We'll look at those in a future video. We have 2 Orchestrion scrolls, which I'm really looking forward to saving to get. And then there's the Construct 14 identification key, which is 180 of these clusters. Now, just to give you a reference then, for farming from complete scratch with a really awful group, that will take you 2 hours with the method I showed in the previous video, and you'll get a lot of other stuff along the way, including your memory items as well, right? For the upgrade of your relic weapon. These things, the tortured memories. That's 29, by the way, just from doing the mob farm. I haven't gone and farmed for another relic yet, so there's that. But yes, 180 is the equivalent of 2 hours with a mediocre group. Obviously, you can do that in about an hour and a half with a fairly decent group, or an hour, depending on how many clusters you've already got. But 180 is not that bad. Since I made the guide on how to actually make some of these clusters more easily, basically a ton of people are now employing that, and the price of this mount is now very low. It went from 3 million to 1 million in the space of a night, which was quite entertaining to watch, really. But yes, it's becoming easier to obtain, and therefore people are selling this quite cheaply. So it's really up to you how you want to get this. 180 clusters, which is about 2 hours with some average people, or if you've got your FC, it's going to take no time at all. Or you can just buy this straight from the market board, which is nearly verging on the sub 1 million range anyway. So it's up to you. Is 1 million gil worth more to you than 2 hours of your time? That's for you to figure out, and me to continue with this video. So let's look at the actual mount then, talk about that, and go through a few things, shall we? Okay, here we are. This is what the mount looks like then. So let's read its text as we do some pans around it. Summon forth your Construct 14, will dispose of friend and foe alike, if so commanded. So be careful what you wish for. During their excavation in the clockwork city of Gog, the 4th Imperial Legion discovered a host of worker automata, which they repurposed for war. As the name suggests, this particular construct is the 14th to undergo such a transformation. The hidden text says, were you able to find any machina worthy of salvaging? That's a quote there. Afiananta Eshana. As you probably guessed there, there's lots of S's. I love this mount in particular, just from the offset, because it's obviously based very much so off of the math construct, which, in the Clockwork City of Moog was filling the forums with people disgruntled about prime numbers. The very essence of this mount is just exuberating mathematical problems, and just I can smell the tension and sweat from nearby people who have been through that particular instance of that Alliance raid and are just now shaking and trembling looking at their screen. So yes, it is a fantastic looking mount. I love the black and the sort of like gold or brass gilt inlays between those bits. It's nice to have. This marks then the first of the Talos mounts that we're going to be seeing. Hopefully we see like another Talos type automata going forward. But yes, I would like a Talos like the big square ones from the first, but it's nice to see our version of them on the source. Very cool indeed. Some of the worst things about this though, it's got generic mount music, which is really unfortunate, which is why we've got it muted. We're not going to have any benefit from unmuting it, unfortunately. It's just a generic music. One thing is though I do like is the animations. This is the walk animation, which is, well, incredibly creepy, isn't it? I love the sound effects. We're going dush, 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 and then when we speed up, I mean, he just looks like he's late for a party or something, you know? It's one of those, like, I'm late for the bus, but I'm not really moving. I'm putting all my energy into it, but I'm, you know, and then the bus pulls off, and he's like, yeah, I was never actually running for the bus. It's fine, I'll just catch the next one. You know, casually late. I think it's fantastic, personally. This is its running animation in its terrestrial form. So yeah, I think this is quite cool. These are the mobs, by the way. These Death Claws. Some of the Nimrods, I think, are high enough level. The Magna Rhoda thingies. Yeah. They're the mobs that you want to be pulling together and blending, basically, to get closer towards your progression. But yes, it's a fairly straightforward farm, as you could probably imagine. And I definitely advise doing it. So, yes, this mount has some really nice terrestrial animations and is noisy, which is always good. I mean, you got to love a bit of noise as you're walking around. It's infuriating to a lot of people, but you can mute it, of course. Yeah, I like this mount. Let's go and have a look what it looks like in the air, though, because that's one thing I'm not able to show you here. I can just jump around for as long as I want, but it's not really going to show you what it's actually like, because I think you'll be honestly quite happily surprised by it. Okay, my dear friends, here we are in my favourite zone in the entire game, if you didn't already know that, the Azim Steppe over at the Dawn Throne, which is my favourite place because it's always majoritively sunny when I'm here, which is always good, makes a difference for recording. This then, oh yes, are you ready for this, chat? Are you ready? Watch as we fly, using the power of our awesomeness alone. We have these rocket boosters with the little smoke trails coming off there. How awesome is that? I love the little animation when it takes off and it's like, pshing. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Is that like his flight mode activating? Watch. Pshing. What is that? It's so cool. I love it. It's like he's just created a protective barrier around him that we can't see, and it's projected by, you know, his hands or something. Maybe it's like a flight field that's been projected. And then he moves his hands, look, to project his movements. So it's almost like he is projecting something. So, like, he can move the air around. It is a really cool mount. I really, really like this one. A lot of people really, really have fallen in love with it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Iron Giant. You know, that old film that we watched as we were kids. Oh, man. It's so cool. And I love the rocket boosters on the back there. And look, when you go into a glide and his arms switch all the way back there, I love that. I really love that. Of course, this is, you know, multi-terrain like all of the mounts are now, thankfully. It's such a good change that they did where they made it so that you could use everything everywhere now. I don't think there's any exceptions, including the ponies, right? We can use those in the air now. So let's just have a look what it looks like underwater. I've not seen it under here yet. Probably exactly the same, right? Yeah, it's going to use the flight animations. Let's go into a walk mode and then have a bit of a swim around. Yeah, that's kind of cool, isn't it? Swimming with the fishies in my robot. Well, on my robot. The only way this could be made better is if you actually went inside the robot itself. And there's only a few mobs that actually do that. Mounts, rather. One of which is the PvP construct mount that we've seen before. And I believe the other one is a PvP mount, the Feast one, like the motorbike thing. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I really like this one. So there's its like walk mode in the air, is obviously a slow glide with his arms a bit further out to stabilize. And there's run mode as well. Very cool. So you get this slight sort of wind blowback effect. I don't know if you can see that very well on the screen, as well as obviously the smoke effect and the fire there as well. And then when it comes into land, this is what it looks like. And there we go. I think it's really, really cool. What do you guys think about this mount? I'm dying to know if this is something that people are going for. If you've already got this, let me know below. If you plan to buy this from a market board, what is the most that you would pay for a mount of this quality? I am a little bit disappointed that the mount music is not associated with Ridorana Lighthouse or anything like that, or Clockwork City themes or something, or, you know, one of the battle themes from Ivlis. That would have fit quite well with this, or even a Bosjan theme, you know. Any of the Final Fantasy Zodiac Age, Final Fantasy XII music would have fit quite well, but alas, we have generic mount music on a frankly wonderful looking mount. I hope they add more stuff like this. It's very unique, but I would love to see a few recolors of this personally going forward. Anyway, thank you kindly for watching this video. Thank you so much, and yeah, we'll show some more stuff off going forward. Hopefully you're enjoying patch 5.35 as much as I am. Enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.